Sonic Forces is not a good game. It is not a bad game. It's not a good game. It is just a game. It's short. I beat it in one sitting at night, and it didn't even get super late. And the gameplay itself, okay, there's multiple problems with this game. There's a couple things that are good, and I'm going to go ahead and get the good out of the way. Character creation. Whenever you start out, you're able to create a character. You have multiple races that you can pick, and each individual race has a specific special ability that goes with it, and that's kind of awesome. It makes who you pick, and it adds an extra layer to how you play the game, and that is very fun. You don't start out with very many items, which is fine, but you are able to customize your avatar, and also you're able to pick different kinds of weapons later on as you unlock them. Outside of that, though, there is not a whole lot good about this game. It's the graphics are there's nothing special about the graphics. It's not like they're super high defined, except oddly enough for the gloves. Every character with the gloves in this game, I could see individual pixels. I could see what the fabric was made out of. And it was kind of weird and a little off-putting whenever everything else looks so just barely on the level. The music is absolutely forgettable. The level design is not that extraordinary. The boss fights are honestly frustrating. It's honestly frustrating. Okay, let's go ahead and get through with the let's do story first. You create a character, and the game opens up and you control Sonic, and Sonic gets his butt handed to him, and then all of a sudden it is alluded to that Sonic is killed, and Tails has lost his mind. There's a resistance going on, and Eggman's taken over 99% of the world. So they get a new recruit in, and that's whenever you create your character. But apparently your character's an absolute wuss, because the next several cutscenes that involve him shows just how shaky he is, no matter how cool or awesome you make him look. You, as a character, the person you created, is a shaky coward. Almost as bad as Tails is, and Tails is a whole nother set of problems. But after that, you go on a quest to, let's go save Sonic, because apparently Sonic's not dead, because they couldn't hold on to that little nugget of information for more than 5 minutes. No, let's not see how long they take this story. No, Sonic died. Nope, he's still alive. Let's go save him. And we also have Generations Sonic, old school classic Sonic in here as well, for no apparent reason at all. Like, portal opens up, nothing. Eggman apparently has a new kind of weapon, and he has this new ally named Infinite, and all these other bad guys from the past has come to fight Sonic. We have Zavok, Shadow, Metal Sonic, and Chaos, which, by the way, I'll come back to that in a minute, but the story goes on, we free Sonic, and we beat the bad guys, and then we end up fighting Eggman. That's the entire story of Sonic. And yeah, it sounds like every other Sonic game in existence, but that is literally all that happens. Nothing interesting happens. You only end up fighting Eggman and Zavok and Metal Sonic and Infinite. You don't even fight Chaos and Shadow, which are two of the coolest bad guys in the Sonic franchise as far as I'm concerned. And the 2 times you do fight Infinite, it goes nowhere. And then whenever you fight Zavok, the first boss battle is an absolute atrocity, because it's super finicky on allowing you to actually hit the bad guy. And it's just dumb. And the whole game is more, on a game that is built on creating an avatar and being able to do something interesting. We're finally able to create an OC for the Sonic universe. So many fans, me included, have created characters that they want to see real in this world. This was our opportunity to do that. But you don't do anything. Your actions are absolutely negligible. Whenever you go up to save Sonic, he's already out. He's already busted out, so you yourself did absolutely nothing. And it's super frustrating, and I don't see why they would do this. And basically, the entire game is split up between three characters. Your avatar, 3D Sonic, and Generation Sonic. And now we're kind of moving into the mechanics of things. The 3D Sonic has 3D speed move forward levels, and it also transitions awkwardly into 2D platforming levels, which, if they were just split up on their own, it would be so much better rather than trying to move back and forth, because it's jarring. Whenever you're moving fast in one direction, all of a sudden everything shifts and you're no longer moving fast forward in one direction anymore. So, and Sonic's just naturally faster than your character, so you're able to do more. You know what to expect with Sonic. With your avatar character, it doesn't make any sense, because you're used to a certain expectation with Sonic, but you're not able to be as fast as he is, which makes sense. But because he takes up over 1/3 of the missions by himself, it's a disconnect. It's jarring. It messes up the flow of the gameplay. And then we have Generation Sonic, Classic Sonic. He has no reason to be there, literally, other than, oh hey, we made a game called Sonic Generations, and here's another character we're gonna throw in there, and we're gonna let you control him. Because, and this ultimately really ticked me off, whenever 3D Sonic could not spin dash. You cannot crouch down, you cannot charge, you cannot move forward. All you have is running straight forward and like doing a drop attack with your feet. And why do they limit this? One of the key moves, one of the most well-known moves at Sonic that in this iteration of Sonic has had access to, you cannot do. Why? Because Generation Sonic has it. Because Generation Sonic is shoehorned into this game, and he can't do any of the big he can't double jump, if you can call it a double jump, like 3D Sonic can do, but he can crouch down and spin dash. He doesn't have any lines. He never talks. He makes gestures with his hands. But that's it. There's literally no reason for him to exist in this game. There's no cause for it. I mean, it's not like portals are being opened up. And I think Tails mentioned something somewhere about Infinite causing this. But it doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. And the avatar levels they're Sonic levels, only with a slower character and a weapon that sometimes works. Okay, let's take a look at the weapon that you have. It honestly has the potential to be so cool. You start out with one that shoots fire, so you're walking around with a flamethrower and it also has a ripcord attached to it. The flamethrower can also be shot at the ground in order to make you jump up in the air. So instead of a double jump, you have kind of a fire boost. Fine. Whenever you get an upgrade, and the one upgrade that I got was a lightning upgrade, you get a big electric whip, you dash forward really quick, and you're able to light dash through rings. That's really cool. And there's a bunch of other kinds of weapons that also have unique abilities, and that's really neat. But everything else that you have for your character is negligible. None of the shoes, none of the gloves, none of the outfits, none of the headwear, none of the nothing means anything except cosmetically. And this doesn't mean a thing. I mean, it's pointless. You might as well just have a blank character that looks slightly different from everybody else, and that's it. I mean, your race and your weapon is the only thing that really does anything in this game. And the few levels that you have feel soulless. I mean, it is just so empty. I mean, I can't remember. Okay, I can remember the final boss battle, which is, I'll get to that in a minute, and I can remember one where the giant egg crab is chasing you in what is admittedly very bad game design, where you're running towards the camera and you're dodging rubble from behind. Is that supposed to be good? Is that supposed to be interesting? Or that's not good level design. Come on, people. And oh gosh, the fight with Metal Sonic is you're running straight in a straight line, and you dodge stuff, and then you got to get close enough to hit them. By the way, you can lose these fights. If you do not hit the boss enough times in order to kill him, you can lose the entire match. So if you miss a couple opportunities, if you accidentally take a hit, then you're gone. You're toast. You're out. It's done. There's nothing you can do. You better 100% no damage and full clear the boss. Otherwise, you're going to constantly have to restart. And the metal, and I bring up the Metal Sonic fight simply because of this. It's what most of the fights in the boss fights in the game are. Whenever you're fighting Infinite for the first time, whenever you fight Metal Sonic, whenever you fight Infinite for the third time, and then in the final battle as well, you're racing down a corridor, you're dodging stuff, and you're hitting the bad guy. And every boss fight is literally hit the B button. I was playing on the Switch. It is hit the B button. Get close enough, tap the B button furiously until you gotta wait for the next cutscene basically to happen, and then you wait to hit the B button again. That is all there is to it. The only fight in this entire game that was interesting at all was the next to last battle. Whenever you're fighting Eggman and all three of you are there, it is Sonic, Generation Sonic, and the Avatar. And each of the different battle areas feel a little bit different. And it's really, really cool. Because you start out with Generation Sonic, and it's a 2D platforming fight. And then it switches to Classic Sonic. Then it switches to the Avatar. And you all three win this fight. And it is awesome. But then immediately afterwards, you get sucked into a black hole or something, and then you go into a run down the hallway and beat the bad guy. This one, however, you can literally run forever, and it is never going to run out of time. For some reason, this last fight, it has no end. You can literally just run forever. I ran for like 6 minutes trying to figure out what to do before realizing, hey, wait a minute. I haven't died yet. Because I haven't died yet. Why? Every other boss fight where I've had to run down a hallway, you'll kill me after I don't kill the boss fast enough. What's the difference here with the final boss? The mechanics are clunky whenever you're forced to switch it back and forth between 3D movement and 2D platformer. The 2D platformer feels like you're moving through molasses. If you have no momentum, then you're gonna lose. 9 times out of 10, you're going to lose. You can tilt your joystick all the way to the side in order to try to make a jump, but because you're so used to you holding that far, you're going farther, you try to course correct, and you just fall off over and over and over again, with no penalty other than time being wasted in between checkpoints. And it feels terrible. And the one level where you end up in water as Generation Sonic, the one level, if you're underwater, you super quickly run out of air. And that is the only time in the entire game where you're underwater. It's not a stage, it's a fraction of a stage where this happens. And it's stupid. Whenever you're in the final fight with the Avatar, whenever you're trying to make it up to the top of this tower, they introduce wall jumping. For the only part in the entire game where you have wall jumping available, the game is almost over at this point, and they give you a little help tip thing. Hey, you can wall jump at this specific location only. What the heck? Seriously. It's stupid, it's frustrating. And, that's another thing. Your weapon has a predetermined value to it. Your weapon cannot be charged that I can find in my entire playthrough. I was never able to find a way to charge the weapon. The weapon only worked at specific levels, at specific points in the levels where you're allowed to have the weapon. And it had a gauge on it. If you used it all up during the stage, then you ran out and you had to continue outward. If you saved the charge on your weapon, if you wanted to use your flamethrower or your lightning whip at a later time, then after you got past a certain point of the stage, it just no longer worked. Magically. What? How does that make any kind of sense? How does that make good game design sense? Why are you even giving me this thing in the first place? Why don't you add ammo packs somewhere? Why don't you make it to where every time I kill an enemy, I get a certain amount of that power back? Why don't whenever I collect rings, I can sacrifice part of my rings? Oh, that's another thing. You cannot collect over 100 rings. You can't do it. You max out at 100 rings, and it just sits there. If you take any damage, you lose part of your rings. But that's it. It's not like you can collect 999 rings. You can only collect 100 rings per stage. Why? Why cap it at 100 rings? It makes no sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. And oh my gosh, the writing is shoddy. The only thing you're really gonna find out at the end is, oh, we have friends. You don't, Eggman. That's me. That's how we're gonna beat you. And they do. So yay! And your character, who has been a shivering, sniveling, cowardly, in cutscenes, cowardly entity, all of a sudden magically grows a spine in like the last 2 missions. And then at the very end, oh my gosh, at the very end, and I don't care about spoilers. I do not care. At the very end, you joined all this, you fought all this fight, you do all the dirty work for them, and then at the very end, what do? You leave the team. Hey, I just spent all this time getting to know you guys. I spent all this time fighting through all this stuff. Hey, I just beat the big bad boss. What am I going to do? I'm going to leave for no reason. No reason whatsoever. It's pointless. It's stupid. You could take the character that you make, the character that you possibly have named. Oh, you don't even get to name the character. It's just the avatar. It's just what it looks. You don't even have a name other than Rookie the entire time and the new guy. But you could take him out. You could take the avatar out. You could take Sonic Generations out. This entire game would not change at all. You could easily take any of the other cast and crew of Sonic that they already have in the game, replace them with that. Story does not change. The mechanics does not change. The outcome does not change. And by the way, on the subject of having so many characters, you literally have everyone from Team Dark, everyone from Team Chaotix, Amy, Sonic, Shadow, Knuckles, Silver. They're all there. Big and Cream is not. Thank goodness. I'll say that. They're all there. Oh, and Rouge is there too. So yeah, that's everybody. And yet you can't play as any of them. You have all these characters. You have their animations already there. You kind of already have everything there to make a character. Why can't you play a bat? That's something else. Whenever you're choosing who to create your character, you have dog, cat, bird, wolf, hedgehog, and I think one other. But that's it. You can't be an echidna. You can't be a fox. You can't be a bat. Your options as far as like what you look like specifically within those are negligible at best. I mean, you can't have hair anywhere as cool as Sonic or Shadow. I mean, why couldn't you be an echidna? Why couldn't you have a way to like punch stuff? Why couldn't... Oh, and you're a bird. Can't fly. Big surprise there. Can't even glide. This game had so much potential. Making a character and upgrading what your character looked like as you play felt fun. It felt cool. But everything in this game just works against itself. They throw in arbitrary SOS missions where you play an avatar stage with someone else's avatar and nothing really is different. You can go back and play the stage by yourself as your character anyway. It really doesn't make any difference. Every time you complete a level, you get new cosmetic options for your avatar, which do absolutely nothing in the long term. And you also get more for using an S rank, getting an S rank in each individual story mission. So it's just unlocking more stuff that does absolutely nothing in the long run. You earn a ranking at the end of each stage, which goes towards giving you medals, and there is rewards, like XP rewards or something, by getting like honors, like getting a gold medal with each of the different races. So they're going to try and get you to play through as each race, but it's not going to make a difference. It's real, and there's also collect 5 red rings within each stage. That is only there for the 100% completionists. Like, so what? This game had so much potential, and it just fell flat. If I wanted to play a 2D Sonic game, I would just play Sonic Mania. If I wanted to play a 3D Sonic game, I have a whole slew of not good, but not as bad games as this to choose from. I could play Sonic DX, I could play Sonic Adventure 2, I could play Sonic and the Legend of the Rings, I could play Sonic and the Black Knight, I could play Sonic Unleashed. Heck, I could play any other Sonic game. I could play Sonic Generations, I could play Sonic Colors. All these other games just by themselves are better than Sonic Generation, not Sonic Generations, than Sonic Forces. And if they have paid DLC at a later date, no thank you. I'm not interested. I feel completely let down. For as hype as this game was, for as much as this game could be, for it to fail so badly, it's sad. It has potential. It could have been more, and it is just squandered. What do I think of Sonic Forces? It's a 5 out of 10. It's barely average. It's not even so bad it is memorable. Sonic Forces is going to be forgotten. And that's all there really is to it.